and
emotional
isn't getting
connection,
it.
or...
Yeah, emotional connection, and that's the precursor to a physical connection.
So would you say the fault lies in the man not meeting her needs, or in the cheater herself?
I don't know that I think of it that way. Well, I think
because
she's I think
got him off guard now. He's got him off guard. I can't lie to you. Nothing. I respect Matthew Hussey, by the way. I love Sadia. I love Dr. Lewis House as well. They're all amazing people. I can't lie to you. I would love to sit down with them because they're amazing people and just listen. Hey, it's your favorite dating relationship coach. Talking about Dark Arts, where we hear you help you guys, discuss the manipulation and the skills that people use in the dating realms. Look, can we be honest with you? This conversation is an interesting one. A woman cheats on you. There's no respect for you. Is that the truth? Can I answer that really quickly and say this? My belief system is that when most women cheat on you, yes, they lack respect for you and there's no going back. So this is part 2 of the conversation. And I think that both Sadia and Matthew Hussey are talking about the same thing, but they're on different sides of the track. He's talking about the precursor to why the woman actually does it, emotional connection. Absolutely. And she's talking about the fact that whilst in that space, that woman is emotionally drifted from you and decides to cheat, not leave the relationship, cheat. There's going to be an aspect where she does not respect you. And so it's going to be very difficult. Remember as well, for men, how we love and how women love. Women want to be loved upon, right? By us, protecting, providing, and also being a priest of the home. And men want to be respected. So the fact that she's gone outside of the relationship, it's going to be a disrespect to the man. It's going to be very hard for that man to want to take her back, number one. Number two, when he does take her back, she knows that men don't take women back, which is what Sadia is actually saying. And I do understand this. The framework of where she's coming from isn't necessarily wrong. What I would say is it's beginning to shift and change because the dynamic of society is changing in the way that we look at men and women in terms of things like sexual liberation, right? It's not fully there, but it's changing. And so because of that, that mindset that Sadia has will start to wane. But for now, I believe what she's saying because the mind frame is that a lot of women believe that a man will leave if she cheats on him. So because of that mindset, when she does cheat on him, she's expecting him to leave. When he does not, it doesn't look like an act of grace or love. It looks like an act of you lost your balls. So I understand where she's coming from because it's like I was saying this to a friend. Like now, a lot of women right now, right, will still take a man's last name, right? But there are women out here who will say to yourself, they don't want to take a last man's name. Now I say this: a woman doesn't want to take your last name, don't respect you. Simple as. I'm sorry, she doesn't respect you. Why? Because in most cases, due to the society's understanding of last names. By the way, last name came in around about 100, 200 years ago. It's not always been the case. It's a newer phenomenon. So I'm not against it at all. But because of our current crop of understanding as our enlightenment as a group, that when a woman doesn't take your last name for now, in this society, in this generation, it's an act of disrespect. She's trying to tell you that we are co-equals. And actually what's going to happen is she's actually going to trump you very soon, right? Women want to lead. And men want to, women want to follow and men want to lead. But the men that don't know how to lead very well, women will end up taking a lead and then feeling resentful that the man actually didn't take the lead. Now, there are obviously exceptions. There are people out here who are lawyers and this and that, doctors, etc., etc. But I always said this: if that man's name was Obama, would you not take his last name? Okay. If that man's name was Beckham, would you not take it? Okay. If that man's name was not one famous name, Chris Brown or whatever, would you not take his last name? Like people who are people whose name has weight to it, you wouldn't argue with them about them taking their last name. Most of you wouldn't. And the reason why they wouldn't argue with them is because the name has weight and it gives you status. The problem is that woman believes that she has more status than you. That's why she doesn't take your last name. That's some conversation again. I'm veering off. Let's get back to this conversation again. Let's break it down. We hope you guys are loving the conversation. But don't worry, if you guys need some coaching, shout me. Listen, this is the kind of stuff we break down with people and help you. I don't want to see your girl leave you. You understand what I'm saying to you? I don't see your girl leave your family. So pay attention to this conversation. We're going to break down some gems and hopefully you're going to understand some things.
She's obviously transgressing in terms of the boundaries of the relationship. And that's wrong. And that's, on either side to not have that conversation that, hey, I'm not getting my needs met. Can we talk about this? Or even, hey, I'm having feelings for someone. I need to talk about this because I don't want it to go to a place I can't come back from. So that of course that's wrong. But I'm more just suggesting that I think that the scope of why people cheat is a lot wider than, I don't respect my husband, and so I'm just going to go and do this.
I think the problem he has with that is the framing of the conversation in terms of the premise of why. And I think, but again, I'm going to say again, both of them are saying the exact same thing. It's just the fact that one person is doing black and white, other person wants to do colors. And actually, in reality, the truth of the matter is, when it comes down to the crux of it, in most cases, it is a lack of disrespect. It's a lack of respect. And that's on both sides. That's both men and women, which is why she said earlier on that both men and women, when they cheat, it's very difficult to come back. But when a woman cheats, it's a definite no-no. Now, is there exceptions to a rule? Absolutely. There are exceptions to a rule. That's the reason why the rule's in place, is that there are some people that can do this. But in most cases, when a woman cheats, I do believe it's over. Now, of course, when we say that as well, sometimes it could be a get-back situation, right? We've seen those situations where people are doing get-backs. Those are very different scenarios. I think there can be a little bit more leeway, but again, I would still say the same thing, right? But what I've seen is when that woman decides she wants to go and cheat on you, okay, she got a certain mindset. She's ready to go, right? She's ready to go. So what he's saying, what she's saying are not that much different. It's the wording. He's saying it's emotional connection. She's saying it's a lack of respect. As an emotion, the emotional connection that's being drifted from has led to a disrespectful movement. Same thing. You know what I'm saying to you? It's just they're at different points. They're at the same point with different kind of perspectives.
I struggle with this idea that women are, once they've cheated, they just can't look at their man the same way again. And that they've just now fundamentally lost something.
You think they can look at the man with love and respect?
I think they can look at him the same way, but not if he forgives her.
Well,
so I don't understand. I don't really get this point either. So if he forgives her, how does a woman look at him the same way? Like, you know what I'm saying to you? How can she look at him the same way? I don't get that point. What does that mean? I'm not sure what that means, Sadia. I would love you to explain it, because what does that mean if he forgives her? And again, forgiveness is a big umbrella when we say this, because what do you mean? Do you mean reconciliation? Because to forgive somebody is very different from reconciliation. To reconcile, I can forgive you and not reconcile. I can let it go and not reconcile. Do you get what I'm saying to you? So what do we mean by forgiveness? Let's hope she explains on this part.
That's actually what I think is
what's really interesting about that, Sadia, is it's a real kind of almost prejudice against women and their capacity for kindness. It was almost the same as saying that women are just inherently more cruel than men.
But I'm saying that with the preface that they've already cheated, which is a lack of kindness.
No, I get the scenario.
So it's a skewed, it's not women.
What you're saying is men are capable of kindness, compassion, and future connection with someone that forgives them. But women are not capable of such kindness.
I would argue it's not that they're not capable of such kindness, but we're talking about a market of women who already demonstrated a lack of kindness through the cheating.
Okay, so I get what both of them are saying here, right? So to wade through the water here, he's saying that, listen, by you saying that a woman can't be redeemed in the sense of like she can't come back to the base, right? I think the issue he's gonna have is that he's probably having an issue with the fact that she said definitely. Like it's indefinite, like it's not going to happen ever. And I think that leaves no scope or margin for redemption. I don't think anybody likes that, right? But I do understand what he's saying in the sense of like the way you're kind of demonstrating, it's almost as if that they're not redeemable, they have no redeemable qualities. And as soon as they cheat, they're wicked for doing it. And I understand what he's saying. Like not everybody cheats to try and not everyone's going to cheat and try and destroy a relationship or try to hurt you the most. Sometimes they're lacking something and they go outside. It's within themselves that they're lacking something and they go outside. And they may feel a sense of remorse and want to come back. I do understand that. I think there must be a distinction between somebody doing it once or twice and someone having a full-on affair. Because I think the two can be very different, right? Someone having a full-on affair, it becomes more than just searching out for the quality D. It's like you were engaging emotionally, you were talking, you've pretty much fallen in love with that person almost. And that then becomes a whole relationship on the side, which is very, very different to then you just going out and cheating, which obviously that is the very few things anyway. Women don't just go out and cheat. They do form emotional connections first. But, you know, I think that may be also where there may be some distinction between the two of them. But again, I'm gonna let them speak and see what they actually say, because I'm not really sure 100%. Where the forgiveness part is coming from, but let's see what she's got to say.
So in that subgroup, absolutely, they're lacking kindness.
I hear you. We're talking just about people who have cheated.
Yeah.
But to kind of other women in that way, where it's like a woman is incapable of having the ability to go, oh my God, I have really
made a mistake or something
up here. I have hurt the person that I love, who loves me. I've hurt this person that I've made a vow to, that I'm in this relationship with, who didn't deserve it.
Yeah.
And that has nothing to do with them. That's on me. And that, you know, if this person is kind enough, if they have the space in their...
Now, I hear what he said again, right? He wants to make this point that what you're really, you're almost, again, you're making them you're condemning people. And he don't like that.
Heart to forgive me, I'm going to honor that. The idea that that's impossible to me suggests that you feel like women are somehow missing a compassion.
And that's why I said that the wording he's going to have an issue with is the fact that she's saying it's impossible, rather than her saying in most cases. If she had said that, he might have been able to agree. But she said it's impossible. And we know it's not impossible. People have done it before. So it's not impossible. But what she should probably say is that in most cases, this isn't going to work. Because once that woman steps out, because first and foremost, taking your example, Matthew, you know, women who have gone to cheat have already emotionally disconnected from the relationship. So now going to cheat is actually a form of them actually leaving the relationship. They've just come back physically, but they're not here. That would have maybe allowed him to have a bit more understanding where she was coming from.
It's not that they're missing a compassion gene. They're looking for protectiveness in a way that men don't look for in women.
I think that's incredibly reductive.
But
I find that really reductive. The idea that what women are, the only thing women really care about is, and what does protect mean exactly?
Now, this is very interesting as well, because remember earlier on, she actually said, in part one, she said that women are very loyal, sexually loyal. So what does that mean? So are we saying the two things that must be in comparison here? So women are loyal to the sexual person, but then we're looking at the protective piece. So which one is it? Is it either or is it together? I want to be able to understand that as well, you know?
A protectiveness is like a biological, if we take it in an evolutionary sense, a protectiveness would be, from an alpha perspective in an evolutionary terms, it would be a man that protects his kin from cuckoldry. It protects his children being born from somebody else, essentially, paternal uncertainty. Now, from a primitive perspective, we look for men who not only can gather resources, but can also prevent paternal uncertainty. Now, when he's missing that fundamental, like he's not bothered about paternal uncertainty, it's not that
he is bothered. Let's say he's brokenhearted. He's like, oh my God, I'm crushed. You're saying she would have had respect for him had he shown up at the apartment as she was about to have sex with the guy and beat him up.
No,
but given that she already did on the side and she came back, the fact that he missed the moment and he's now crushed and hurt, that's him not protecting her.
Here's the thing, man.
Do you know what? He said it, but it's true. And there's some truth to it. Yes. Because what Sadia is really distinguishing here, and I think I also distinguish as well. There is base level instinct, and then there is people who elevate. A lot of us don't elevate. This is a problem. This is why we are where we are, because a lot of people do not elevate past their thinking of their animalistic instincts. So I think, again, I see both of them. I think where he's coming from is I'm dealing with clients who elevate beyond maybe their animalistic instincts of just being protected for, or, you know, sexual loyalty, whatever, right? And she's coming from a place of, well, I'm dealing with a lot of people that are actually on a base level. They are on a base level, animalistic in their instinct. And so when women cheat, they ain't coming back because animalistic instinct, they want protection from that man. And now that man who I'm with couldn't protect me from doing what I'm doing out there, which is actually, again, an indication that women want men to lead and they think that men are responsible for the relationship, which I do believe in some essence they are. That her cheating is as a response of his weak leadership. That's what we're really saying. If anything, they actually both kind of saying the same thing, because what she's saying is that woman, in a sense, will not respect that man because she thinks he's got weak leadership skills. And he's saying that he inadvertently said it. That woman goes out to cheat because the man didn't emotionally connect. He didn't do this. He didn't do that. They're saying the same thing. They're saying the man is the issue, right?
Masculinity is not about availability and consistency. Masculinity is about knowing when to walk away as well from a female perspective. There are endless women who have men that message, double text, triple text. What puts them off in that moment is not his kindness and compassion. It's his unwillingness to walk away when he's being disrespected.
But you are framing forgiveness as...
I totally get that. But actually saying that woman doesn't like that man because of the weakness he's showing in that moment. And the weakness that he's showing in that moment, again, is because he's double texting, triple texting. But where the context is missing is this: that girl don't like that man. You're starting on a basis of a man that woman does not like. Now, if she likes him, rules go out the window. Yeah? If she likes him, rules go out the window. So something changed in between that time where she liked him, or maybe she didn't really like him as much as she needed to. Maybe she only liked him a bit.
As the antithesis of masculinity.
But you are framing forgiveness as acceptance. I think forgive me if I was to do that, but accept me is a different experience.
Forgiveness is saying this relationship means more to me than my pride or my ego. I love you. I want to make this work, and I'm going to be a big enough man to make this work in spite of this. And that makes him the bigger person. It doesn't make him emasculate. It doesn't. He's not. You're framing forgiveness as he's emasculated himself by forgiving her. And
I want to say this first and foremost: God doesn't, because again, I'm coming from a Christian perspective. If that was the truth, then God would be emasculated. And I know my God's not emasculated. Do you get what I'm saying to you? Forgiveness is a very powerful thing. but it must be done in a place. Forgiveness does not mean reconciliation. This is why I keep saying forgiveness, and this is why maybe they're getting stuck. Like she said, that forgiveness is acceptance, right? The forgiveness here is also in combination with you're going to do the work to actually to rebuild this relationship. Something has to change because something's died. What we had before is gone. So there must be, if there's going to be forgiveness, there has to be reconciliation. This is why the Bible says that, well, Christ had to die in order for us to receive the forgiveness that we needed from God. There was a death. And the only way to receive reconciliation is to accept the death of Christ Jesus and what he done for us. So in this instance, when it comes to relationships, there must be an acceptance of the wrongdoing and there must be a repentance of what you've done. So I can understand what Matthew's saying. I don't want to frame it as being a bigger person. I want to frame it as, does the person actually want to do the work to actually repair this relationship? Or do they want to just come back and be like, okay, accept me as I am? Because that's not going to work. I need to see work. I need to see you actually want to put this work in. Let's go to counseling. Let's go to this. Now, I think it's very rare because, like I said, most women, I think that when most women start cheating, they're already at the end of the relationship. It is a last buck and stop. It is hard for them to come all the way back. So
she can never get over that moment of him emasculating himself.
I believe that very, very strongly. And the reason being is that the relationship should mean loads to you, but part of you should understand for her to do this, we don't see the relationship in the same light. Yes. Your inability to understand the importance of reciprocity is what makes you less masculine. It's not a case of forgive me all day, every day. But for me to step out on you means that this relationship means something different in your eyes than it does in my eyes.
But you're saying it's different if it's a man.
I wouldn't say it's totally different. I think the disrespect is there, but I think
you said if it's a woman, she.
No. I know what she said now. Okay, I get it. No, what she was saying is that no, because she actually made a caveat earlier on saying that if a man cheats too, it's almost pretty much done. It's almost pretty much done. But what she's, I think, going to allude to is the fact that society, the way that we've conditioned women, is that when a man cheats, there's less of that resistance to taking back. But when a woman cheats, never take her back. So that mindset is also in the woman too. So she knows. She knows too that if he forgives me, then where's his respect? Because society tells us that men don't forgive women that cheat.
I hear it. Or if it's a woman and she forgives him, it's fine and it can all work. But if a man forgives her,
I said it's difficult. I said it's very difficult. But I do think men can compartmentalize sex in a way women can't. Similarly, when we were talking about male cheats, you were very quick to say that the cheat is a problem. But when females cheat, it's an emotional need she was outsourcing.
That's a bar. Can't lie to you. That's very, very true. That's very, very true. When a male cheats, he's a problem. But when a woman cheats, it's because of emotional connection. I hear it.
Oh, I didn't say she wasn't wrong. I said it was wrong.
Only when I probed that.
Oh, that was intense. Can't lie to you. Listen, I'm gonna leave it there. Listen, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts down below. What do you guys think? Because that was a crazy one. Much love and appreciation.